asked to speak about today is the European Testing and Experimentation Facility for Health, AI and Robotics, which I'm coordinating. I'm a professor for brain simulation. So we build avatars of patients and subjects' brains. And of course, I also have my own brain avatars. This is an example. And we reconstruct, as you can see here, really the activity. It's not just a map where you can zoom in and out, such as in Google, but it's a real simulation framework. And this is now on the market already for more than 10 years, and it's further developed and also validated. And it's also classified as AI technology. Yeah, it's very interesting, and this also explains my intrinsic motivation to make such technologies compliant. And as you all probably know, Europe is leading in coming up with new regulations, and unfortunately not so much leading at the moment in new technologies. Yeah? The US and China are really having a much steeper trajectory than Europe. But maybe we have an opportunity as Europe, with all our regulations, to become leading in trustworthy technologies. And this is actually the claim and the aim of Europe, to develop technologies that are in line with the values of the European citizens. And you all know that in August, the new AI Act regulation came in force. And you probably also know that the European Health Data Space Regulation probably still will come in force this year. It's a little bit uncertain, but it's expected to come in force at the end of this year. There are many other regulations that popped up over the past 10 years or even 5 years. I could immediately give you a list of 20 new regulations that are applicable to the medical and healthcare sector. So in order to nevertheless keep stride with the technology developments and not completely lose contact with the developments in China and the US, the European Commission came up within the AI Act with a support measure. And the support measure are the TEFs, the Testing Experimentation Facilities. At the moment, 4 such TEFs are being funded in 4 sectors: healthcare, this is the one I'm leading, but also agriculture, manufacturing, and smart cities. We are working closely together. Each of these infrastructures is initially funded with 60 million euros, half coming from the European Commission and the other half coming from the member states. And trustworthiness, yeah. What is trustworthiness? The AI Act requires trustworthiness by design and by default. And if you think about physicians and doctors, yeah, nobody asks, are you trustworthy? I'm a physician and doctor myself. I was never tested on my trustworthiness, but for the AI systems, this is now required. Yeah? And in 2 years, we have now the grace period. In 2 years, all medical devices that contain AI systems are classified as high risk and need to demonstrate trustworthiness. And therefore, the AI Act came up with a classification of different aspects of trustworthiness. And I have put them here. I read them for you because they are very, actually, the letters are very small: human agency and oversight, technical robustness and safety, privacy and data governance, transparency, diversity, non-discrimination and fairness, societal and environmental well-being, and accountability. And if you just pick one, for example, societal and environmental well-being, you already see the complexity. So for instance, systems that use AI need to also demonstrate that they are energy efficient, yeah, and that there's a justification for the energy use. If there are huge supercomputers, as for example, in use for simulating brains, are powering the simulations, you have to document and justify why so much energy is needed and whether it's actually an energy efficient to use such a system for healthcare purposes. So the TEFs, you find also definition in the AI Act. What they are doing, they provide technical and scientific support for AI providers, so these are SME startups, industry who provide the products. and also for notified bodies. And this is interesting. There are also the certifiers, for example, that provides a CE label, and the certifiers themselves are also supported by the TEFs. And I show you in a moment why this is needed. This is the logo of our TEF-Health consortium. Here you see the risk pyramid of the AI Act, and there are 4 classes of risk: minimal or no risk. And these products that contain such systems, they are usually not medical devices. They are permitted and have no restrictions. There are possibly voluntary codes of conduct, so they can go through a certification, but it is not required. Then there's a second level, transparency risk, for example, for chatbots or also for deep fakes. They are permitted, but subject to information and transparency obligations. So you need to make people aware if you make a call and you speak with the voice of Trump or whoever, that it's Trump, it's a deep fake and it's not Trump. So this will be the case in Europe. Yeah, it happened. I bring the example because it supposedly happened in the US, that such calls have been made without that additional information. Then there is the high risk, and this is relevant for the healthcare sector because all the medical devices that contain AI systems are classified as high risk, and they are permitted subject to compliance with AI requirements and ex-ante conformity assessment. This means they need to undergo through certification, and it is expected that the same certifiers that now provide CE certification for medical devices according to the medical device regulation will also obtain the accreditation and qualification to provide certification for AI systems. This will be complementary, so it will be done together, the certification for medical device regulation compliance and AI Act compliance. And as mentioned, the grace period ends in August 2026. So then such CE certifications are required if a product goes to the market that contains an AI system in the medical sector, or that is a medical device, it should be more precisely. And then the topmost risk is the unacceptable risk. This would be social scoring, untargeted scraping. This is prohibited. So there are also some applications, and they are also still debated. Yeah, a lot of debate is ongoing whether for certain purposes, for example, emotion recognition was prohibited, but maybe for some purposes it makes sense. And there are documents being created now by the member states and also the European Commission to actually specify in detail a little bit more also what they mean with the definition of AI, which now is extremely broad, and even a heart pacemaker, yeah, that is very classical and traditional, would be classified according to the present definition as a machine-based, adaptable, to different degree, autonomous device that would fall under the AI Act regulation. So this requires specification, and this is work in progress. So not everything has been solved, even though the AI regulation is in force. So TEF-Health now provides access via a single entry point for industry partners, and in particular now for SMEs and startups, because we also provide state aid support to get access to all the competencies and support services that are required to successfully go through the certification. And this starts already with the development of the products, knowing the standards, yeah, we have heard about this, but also doing all the documentation that is required in order to then pass the certification. And we have many stakeholders on board, including certifiers, notified certifiers. For example, in Germany, the TÜV Association with all the different TÜV organizations. In France, that would be LNE, the National Lab, and many more partners. We are also together with the partners develop agile certification, because one problem is also that the style of certification of medical devices, which more looks at medical devices as hardware, yeah, but AI-driven 2 minutes. I saw this, thanks. AI-driven systems are software-driven, and software is developed agile, with many updates, and therefore an agile certification needs to be developed, and this is happening in our consortium with certifiers. And we also work with the standardization authorities, for example, in Germany, the PTB, the National Metrology Entity, also others from other member states, in order to develop the standards, which also are not fully developed yet. And what is also missing are the protocols to do the actual testing, for non-bias, fairness, robustness, and so forth. So many of these protocols are not existing and are under development right now. There's a single entry point under TEF-Health.eu, and I show you in a moment where you will find already a multitude of services that are operational and existing and can be used right now. They are already available, but this is the map of partners at the moment. So presently we are 52 organizations, half private, half public, and 9 member states who support the TEF-Health. After the 5 years, or probably even a little bit earlier, we will become another form of organization because we need to become sustainable. At the moment, we are an EU consortium, but we are striving to become another form of organization. And one organization form under discussion is an EDIC, a European Digital Infrastructure Consortium. With this, there would be a clear roadmap how additional member states and additional partners can onboard this consortium and become active partners in this infrastructure. I mentioned already the need for agile certification, so the ultimate goal, and several partners, including Charité, my own organization, is working on the development on virtual digital infrastructure, federated cloud infrastructure with GDPR and secure high-performance computing backends, where all the data and the code securely can be shared between the AI innovators and also the certifiers, in order to provide the infrastructure in the long term for real-time compliance testing, where the protocols can run all the time and data are being collected. Their performance data is also very important for the post-market surveillance. And the result of the protocols that are running on the product, the AI system, will be observations. Observations will be aggregated, and probably there will be also context-dependent certification labels. Here you see an example, because there are many different aspects, and depending on the application or the use of a product, different aspects might be more relevant. So this is a website, and I'm coming to the end now, where you find a lot of information. But the most important, I hope I have this arrow here, yes. Buttons are the 3 in the upper right corner, where we have a button Add Service. Let's see whether that's animated. There's Search for Service and Apply for a Discount in the middle. And the Search for Service is the knowledge graph, a graph database, where now already many fully annotated services, including price examples and so forth from all the providers, can be found and discovered via keyword search or also via filters to make it most convenient and easy for our customers. And at the moment, I think we have over 300 services that can be used now. There are also the contacts, so the service providers can be directly contacted. But there are also these open calls. There's one published, another one in the pipeline coming very soon, where we provide the services at discounted prices or for free, using state aid support that we receive from the member states. And I think this is the end. This is actually the knowledge graph. You can explore it yourself if you hit the Search for Services button. It's quite convenient. It contains a lot of information. We have a metadata model for the services to annotate the services and so forth. And this is a call for applications. So thank you very much.